Hello friends, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, back with another STAMPtember exclusive collaboration. Today's collab is with Reverse Confetti, and this is the Fa La La Trees stamp set. It's this big 6x8 set with all of these tree images and then some big sentiments, some little add-ons, you know, the star and the trunk and a few other sentiments. And I went clean and simple again. Shocking, I know. First though, collaboration sets, they are limited edition. They are one and done. When they sell out, they are not restocked. Reverse Confetti has a ton of fabulous stamps and wafer dies. I will have a link to the brand in my blog post, which will be linked directly below, of course. So I went somewhat traditional with the colors. I went clean and simple. I know. I stamped this tree from the set with Simon's Sage Positively Saturated ink. And then I stamped the little detail stamp with pine ink. So just, again, went kind of traditional, but then as like I'm editing self here, these would look really good in pink. You know, go non-traditional. Oh, you could have so much fun. Again, I need more hours in the day. You could do like pink ones, purple ones, so many things. Anyway, I stamped that, and then I created just like the easiest mask of all time. I just stamped one of the trees. They're all the same shape and the same size, so you can like layer them and do all the fun things. And I just stamped it onto just a piece of my Post-it tape, and then cut that kind of inside the outer line there, so I can just mask off the bottom to stamp the trunk. Just simple, really. And then I also lined up the solid star image. There's also outlines, which again, editing self, I was like, ooh, you could stamp everything and then stamp the outlines in darker colors on top. That would look really nice too. Anyway, so many ideas, not enough time. So I did the trunk and the star at the same time because they're far enough apart. It was simple to just line everything up and then ink them up with their different inks. So the trunk I did with Simon's Cappuccino ink, and the star with lemonade ink. And while things look a little blotchy, these inks do smooth out as they dry, and then they look all fabulous. So I went just simple because I also wanted the focus to be on this big. I love this Fa La La sentiment from the set. So I lined that up on top. I waited till everything was dry. Like my inks, the stamped inks are dry. I used my anti-static powder tool. And then I stamped the sentiment with just white pigment ink. You could also use Versamark, clear embossing ink. Any of that's going to work. So I stamped that on the first one and coated it with Simon's gold embossing powder. And then the second one I did with silver because I just couldn't make up my mind. And I was like, well, why not try both, you know? And again, the pink, or if you did like the pink or purple trees or blue, like aqua, do like copper embossing, Ranger liquid plastic. I have ideas. I'm sharing them with you guys because I don't have the time to do all the things, but this is just, I really enjoy this set. It's really fun. I can't wait to see what everyone else does with these trees too. So after I heat embossed them, I did add splatter because even though they're clean and simple, you can get away with some splatter. Plus it just works. It does. I'm not even like trying to justify it. The splatter is perfect for these, I think. So I put them in my splat box. I have my Ranger Perfect Pearl powder. Put a bit of that on my palette. Mix it up with my little fan brush and some water. And then I'm going to pretty liberally splatter these onto both of these panels. And then I'm going to let that dry. And it just gives it that little extra like falling snow, shimmery Christmas look. And I love it. So splattered these. And then my card bases are Lawn Fawn Sage Leaf cardstock. I was going through my stash and I was like, oh, this is the perfect shade to go with the stamping, everything. Love when that happens. So my card bases are top folding A2 cards, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I lined up the big Merry and Bright sentiment, which you could stamp that instead of the Fa La La on the front and do the heat embossing, but I wanted to put this on the inside. So I inked that up with Simon's Sage ink, stamped that onto the inside of both of these cards. And this again, like while it's a clean and simple design, this is also one that you could do like mass produce. Like you could still do different colors. That would be so fun. But once you have things, lined up, you could just do one over another and have tons. It'd be fun. So I stamped the Marion Bright, and then I stamped one of the other sentiments in the set. This I stamped with the pine ink. So it just gives it that little extra something on the inside of these cards. So got that lined up, stamped that with the pine ink, did that with the second card base. My splatter is, of course, completely dry. So those panels were, the card front panels were originally 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I just took a 1/4 inch off every side to allow the card base to give it a nice little border. You could also have it trimmed down before you even start stamping, but sometimes I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do, you know? So I then put foam tape on the back of these panels because while they're clean and simple, adding a little bit of foam tape for a little dimension, it does give it just that little extra, you know? Just that little extra something. So adhere those into place, and then I'm actually just going to pair these cards with coordinating metallic envelopes. So gold metallic with the gold heat embossed one, silver metallic with the silver heat embossed one, and that finished off the cards. So, like I mentioned, this reverse confetti Fa La La tree set is limited edition. I'll have a link to the set in the description box below the video, as well as, like I said, a link to my blog post, and all the info will be there, and picture links and everything easy to find. So you can check that out below if you were interested. And as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping and commenting, and subscribe if you hadn't. And I will see you all very soon in the next one. Bye.